No, I'm serious. You look really good.
Oh, thank you, because I did something on my eyebrows lately.
Is that what it is? I knew it was something.
Yeah, it's just
you've been working out?
Yeah, well, see, I had someone look in my windows, and they were like spying on me, so I had to like start looking good.
So your reaction is not to call 911.
No,
it's to like gussy yourself up, so you look good for them.
Yeah, they're gonna spy anyway, right? Through my windows.
You don't want to give a stalker a bad impression.
No, absolutely not.
All right, here we
go. Did I say Windows enough?
Windows. I bet it wasn't a stalker. It was a hologram.
Oh, even better.
All right, here we go.
Podcasts about technology in your daily lives from people who like to put pants on frogs and one guy with a trustworthy-looking beard. The Daily Tech News Show with Tom Merritt is brought to you by you and I at dailytechnewsshow.com/donate.
Woo! This is the Daily Tech News for Wednesday, January 21st, 2015. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Lamarr Wilson, YouTube sensation.
Oh, you changed my title. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I got to, all my chest is out now. I'm excited.
It just came in, official YouTube sensation.
It just came in. Well, good to see you, Tom.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you too. We have a lot of Microsoft stuff to talk about. Are you feeling Windowsy?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's get into the headlines. Microsoft talked about themselves for 2 hours and 15 minutes today in a press conference. They did pack in a lot of announcements, though. First, Windows 10 will be a free upgrade for all Windows 7 and 8.1 users for the first year after release.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about encouraging adoption. Like, yeah, we're not having XP happen again. Free upgrade.
Right.
Within the first year, some people are like, does that mean after a year it doesn't work anymore? I don't think that's what they mean, although it's still yet to be clarified. I think it means that after a year, you might have to pay for the upgrade.
Right.
My guess is they're going to do some kind of subscription thing. That's what I think. Windows 10 also gets Cortana, the voice-activated digital assistant. Universal apps were highlighted, including examples using a photo app, the map app, and Outlook. Basically, Universal app means it's the same app on every platform, on your phone, on your laptop, on your tablet, on your desktop. Microsoft demonstrated a touch-first version of Office for phones and tablets, although that was actually different software for phones and tablets than it is for the desktop. It looked very similar to what you have for Android and iOS. Also got a look at Project Spartan, a new lightweight browser that had been rumored, had a shared note-taking, improved reading experience, built-in Cortana of its own. They used the Verge leak of the Project Spartan announcement as the example that they wrote the notes on. I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
Nice little self-deprecation there. Skype is also now integrated into Messenger on Windows Phone, so it's kind of like the iMessage for Windows Phone. You can message in Skype or
about time.
Phone. Yeah. And the new release of Windows 10 will come to insiders, and they actually really encouraged people to sign up as an insider. Next week, if you're an insider, you'll get the preview version, the newest preview version, and it's coming to phones in February.
Okay, guys, we're done. Thanks so much.
You would think. That'd be enough, right?
Yeah, that's a plenty, right?
Oh no, 7 more things.
Oh my God.
An Xbox app is coming in Windows 10 that integrates across gaming platforms, including phones, including the Xbox One. So when you go into this Xbox app on Windows 10, it looks like you're in the Xbox. It has messaging, it has activity feed, it lets you see all of the games you own, even on the Xbox One. It's got cross-platform gameplay capability. So one person was playing Fable Legends on a PC while the other person was playing on Xbox One, but they were playing together. You can stream games from any Windows 10 PC, stream it from the Xbox One to any Windows 10 PC or tablet starting later this year, is what Spencer said. DirectX 12 was shown with the expected improvements that you would expect from a new DirectX, including cutting the power consumption into half. That's pretty nice. And those universal apps will also be able to run on Xbox One if a developer wants. So Excel spreadsheets on my Xbox.
I mean, that's what I've been waiting for as a gamer. I mean, I don't know about you, Tom.
I hear that a lot, from people who play video games.
Like, darn it, I can't have my Excel with my Call of Duty.
I really need to snap in my Excel spreadsheet while I'm playing Call of Duty.
Exactly. But dude, I want to react to this if you don't mind, because
please.
This is kind of my realm as a casual gamer or whatever. But I love my Xbox, and this is so exciting because it now keeps Microsoft from having to make a handheld, because they don't have to make a 3DS like Nintendo, because they put on their tablets, and if enough people have their tablets, they can run this and play their games. It seems like it's going to be local network for now, but I mean it's a great start. It makes me wonder, all the whining people did, was it last year or whenever the Xbox One came out? The
E3 announcement, yeah.
Yeah, they've been whining about it. So Xbox took away features because people are like, oh, we don't want this and this. But one of the features that was there was being able to download your games from the the disc, and then you wouldn't have to put it back in. Well, they took that away. I wonder if it was because of this, because if you're going to stream your games, you really need them on the Xbox, and so that might be the only hangups, that you got to keep putting your disc in, unless you're a downloader. But I figured they had something in the future.
I wonder how many. I mean, they showed Fable Legends, which I think comes out later this year, right? They showed Fable Legends being able to be played on the PC and the Xbox and be cross-platform. I don't get a sense of how many game developers are going to take advantage of that. Because that's the other thing that is similar to what they were talking about at E3 2 years ago, which is like, hey, you can have your game everywhere. And so they had, I think it was Phil Spencer was on the PC, and they had a rep from the game studio that makes Fable Legends playing on an Xbox, but they were still in the same game.
I see.
Some game companies may not want to do that. They may not want to deal with it, even if they want to do it. I don't know. But that seems like a pretty compelling feature.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess when I was talking, I was referring specifically to that streaming feature. I think
streaming from the Xbox to the tablet. Yeah.
I think that is a game changer. I think that's wonderful that they're offering it. And again, they don't have to make another piece of hardware, because it just streams over your local network. So if you have a router, it's fast enough.
You're done. You're good. Microsoft also showed off an 84-inch 4K display called Microsoft Surface Hub. It's essentially a huge version of Microsoft OneNote, meant for collaborative meetings. Multi-touch, multi-pen, includes Skype for Business, can automatically share the meeting notes to all participants as soon as the meeting is done. That's kind of, if you have not been in meetings, that may sound silly to you, but if you have, you know exactly, like, well, how do we get this off the whiteboard? Should we take a picture of it? I'll just scribble it down on my notes. None of that necessary if you've got this thing. This is, I believe, the outcome of them buying Perceptive Pixel.
But Tom, I want to do a presentation and then have to email everybody the PowerPoint so they can look at it themselves when they get home, because everybody looks at it when they get home, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I've been looking at the one you sent me.
Yeah, like a year ago.
Yeah, it's really good with its slides and the words that are on there.
Yeah, this is great.
No, it's more like the whiteboard stuff, though, right? The stuff that you do on the fly, and then everybody's like, "Oh crap, we wrote it all up there. How do we keep that?" Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be great. Yeah, that's their strong point. Like, I don't use OneNote. I even kind of gotten away from Evernote just because I take too many notes. And it drives me nuts. But I love what they're doing with the whole OneNote thing. I think this is the way to do meetings for the future.
It's all in the cost and installation, whether companies will take this up, but I'm sure some will.
Yeah.
And then finally, they finished strong. Well, actually, they finished with Satya Nadella lecturing us for 10 minutes, but and then brought Meyerson back out. But before that, they finished strong with Windows Holographic, basically saying Windows is now a hologram platform, and it's still the same Windows 10. This technology was developed in partnership with NASA's JPL, which they couldn't help rubbing it in people's face. Like, we work with people who actually do moonshots. They did not use the words Google when they said that, but they did not. Every Windows 10 install will have a holographic API, which will allow software and hardware makers to use the augmented reality functions if they wish. Microsoft is also making some hardware to be like flagship examples of this. HoloLens is wireless. It doesn't need to be plugged in to anything. It's a see-through HD lens wraparound sunglasses type thing. Spatial sounds in it so that you can hear things that are behind you. and it has a holographic processing unit in addition to the GPU and the CPU that does the tracking of eye and head motions. They say there's terabytes of data flowing through that thing. Holo Studio is also a piece of software that you can use along with this to create something in 3D space. So you put on the what are they called now? The HoloLens, yeah.
HoloLens,
and then you use Holo Studio to just like grab things and make a 3D model, and then you can print it to a 3D printer.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about this more. Yeah.
We got lots to say about this.
Okay.
Anyway. Bloomberg reports, now we're done with the Microsoft news. Bloomberg reports Samsung will stop using Qualcomm's chip in the next version of the Galaxy S smartphone. Bad news for Qualcomm. Bloomberg sources said Samsung tested the Snapdragon 810 and it overheated during testing. At least that's what the source told Bloomberg. Samsung will use its own chips instead. Samsung is Qualcomm's second largest customer. They make up 12% of its sales. The Snapdragon 810 is still coming out. It's expected to be used in Xiaomi's Mi Note Pro and LG's G Flex 2, which are coming out soon.
All right.
Hey, do you remember Freedom Pop?
I do.
Yeah?
Talked about them in the video, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, they're an MVNO. That means they offer plans that run on the Sprint network in this case. They offer free data plans, kind of a gateway to get you into their otherwise low-priced plans. Last year, Freedom Pop began selling a Wi-Fi only phone that didn't run on the Sprint network. It was just able to use Wi-Fi to make calls. Of course, you had to find your own Wi-Fi hotspots to connect to. Today, GigaOM reports Freedom Pop has announced its own Wi-Fi network of 10 million hotspots, $5 a month. Users purchase an unlimited voice, SMS, and Wi-Fi data plan. The Wi-Fi network is not even owned by Freedom Pop. It's actually owned by a bunch of different ISPs and hotspot aggregators, though significantly not Boingo, which is a popular Wi-Fi hotspot provider. The network can be found in places like Starbucks, Panera, Walmart, Home Depot. They say they have more deals in the works. You use an Android app on a phone that ties all the services together into one interface, so you don't have to log into a bunch of these different things. It just looks like one to you. It doesn't use Hotspot 2.0 yet for you super geeky types, but it will as more services migrate to that instant login technology. So it's capable of doing that in the future. I mean, that's kind of an interesting way. You're not going to be using this thing out on the highway, obviously.
Right.
But cheap?
Yeah.
Save you money?
$5 a month, dude. I mean, I think this is awesome. I've talked about some of the other competitors. They're all around about doing the same thing, but you know, most people are not calling anymore anyway. So it's like, do you really need a phone on? You know, some people don't need a phone on demand. Some do. You know, just if they have kids, or whatever. But yeah, I think for just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the use case. Kids. Or, you know, people that just don't have to.
If you don't travel a lot and you live in an urban area that's got a lot of coverage like this, maybe you got Wi-Fi at home.
Yeah, you work from home. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Or there's good Wi-Fi at work. When I worked at CNET, they had great Wi-Fi. When I worked at TWIT, they had great Wi-Fi, so that would have worked there. I remember Ayaz Akhtar was trying to do this when he lived in Petaluma. Just use an iPod Touch as his phone.
Oh.
And he was able to make it work, but it was difficult. This would make it a whole lot easier. And I guess you could use any Android phone as long as it had Wi-Fi on it.
Yeah, because you just put this app on it. So, awesome stuff.
9 to 5 Google reports that third-party WhatsApp users are reporting they've been banned from the service for 24 hours. Most of those reporting the bug are using third-party WhatsApp clients on Android, such as WhatsApp Plus. WhatsApp posted an article on the site suggesting that users uninstall the third-party client and reinstall the official one, saying, quote, WhatsApp Plus contains source code which WhatsApp cannot guarantee as safe, and that your private information is potentially being passed to third parties without your knowledge or authorization.
Well, I'm glad they're doing it. It's the same thing Snapchat had a problem with. They had to stop those third-party. You shouldn't be putting your stuff through third-party. I know on Windows phones that you had to because they didn't have an Instagram app or they didn't have some of these other apps. But it's just not a good idea. So.
But hey, you don't even need an app because WhatsApp also launched a web version of the service you can use on your desktop. Just go to web.whatsapp.com in Chrome. Actually, you do need an app because you have to scan the QR code inside of your WhatsApp on your phone to connect, and you have to leave your phone on, and you have to make sure it's Android because they don't support iOS for this service yet because of what they call platform limitations. But hey, web version of WhatsApp.
Yeah, because that's what people want.
Because but you have to have your phone on I don't know. The Verge reports Christopher Poole, you probably know him better as Moot, is stepping down as administrator of 4chan. Moot founded 4chan in 2003. He was 15 years old at the time. He's been there ever since. Called himself, quote, an uncomfortably large single point of failure, which is part of the reason he's stepping down. He said he might return. He might become an admin emeritus someday, or he might just remain anonymous and go back on the boards. He also says he wants to write about his experiences on his blog. He'll answer questions during a live stream on Friday, if you're interested.
Okay.
Ars Technica reports that U.S. District Court Judge Dolly G. found that the Dish Anywhere service does not infringe copyrights of broadcasters. Dish Anywhere allows users to watch their home programming outside the home on their tablets and phones. Fox sued, claiming this was an unauthorized retransmission. Judge G. ruled that Dish customers have a fair use right to watch television as they say fit because they legitimately obtained the programming.
Doesn't Time Warner has this same thing, right? Where you can watch.
Yeah, but the difference, I think Comcast has a similar thing. DirecTV has a similar thing. They strike individual deals with every network on this. And that's what Fox didn't like, is Dish was like, hey, we're just using Slingbox to do it.
Gotcha.
Because we own Slingbox. And Fox was like, you can't, no! Well, we didn't get money for that.
This is totally not going to be a problem with the new Sling app for the $20 a month thing.
Well, that's an interesting question. One would assume for Sling TV that they had to negotiate the rights for all of those networks
ahead of time, yeah,
to be viewed anywhere, which is maybe one of the reasons you don't see the Fox networks listed on there.
Good point.
Yeah, we don't know if Fox is going to appeal because they are negotiating with Dish still on this. So I think if they come to an agreement with Dish, this case might die. This might be the end. But I like that if it does, that means the judge ruled, hey, you have the fair use right to use a Slingbox.
Good.
Essentially. The Verge reports Twitter has launched Digits, a way to log into web services without a password. Sort of. It's separate from Twitter. I think Twitter will use it, but it's not an app. It's not used exclusively by Twitter. It's meant to be used by different services. Users will associate a password with an account. Then in the future, when logging in, the user merely enters the phone number and a one-time code will be texted to that number. This is meant mostly for mobile apps. And mobile apps, some of them just authenticate using your phone number anyway. You never set up a password. Right. So this would work for them as well. If somebody wanted to use, say, WhatsApp on the web, they could use Digits to log in there. Twitter hopes other apps will adopt Digits. And if they do, once you authenticate on one site using Digits, you'd be authenticated at all sites using Digits for the duration of that browser session.
Yeah. Sounds cool. I like it's kind of like the two-step authentication.
It's doing the old two-step, except it's people will argue that it's not actually 2FA, and I get that. But yeah, this is a good way to extend web services. That might be one of the reasons you got to do the QR code on Snap or on WhatsApp, right? Because you don't actually have an account. So this would, if they use Digits, then you wouldn't have to do that.
That makes
QR
sense.
code.
Got it.
Time now for some news from you. These come from our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. If you haven't stopped by there, you're missing out. There's a lot of great stuff in there, more than we could ever cover in the show, but it keeps the conversation going about stuff, lets you vote on what other people think is interesting, and that helps me figure out what to put in the show. Lythander pointed out a Slashdot snippet from the Foundation for Economic Education that claims the U.S. Department of Justice wants to be able to get a non-specific warrant to search a computer if its location is hidden using something like Tor or VPN. The requested change would have to be made to Rule 41B of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure. Another proposed change would allow the same non-specific warrant if a computer has been damaged by a botnet that is spread among at least 5 jurisdictions.
This just made my head hurt. Next story.
Yeah. So, well, essentially what this means is that Lamarr, if you want to be on the extreme user side of it, if you use VPN, the FBI can come and hack into your computer without showing probable cause or anything. They can get what's called a non-specific warrant. They don't have to list any of the usual information on a warrant because they say he's hidden his location, so we're going to crack in there. And
it kind of kills the purpose of using the VPN.
That could lead to an abuse, right? To say, like, just because I'm using a VPN does not mean I'm a criminal. You should still have to show probable cause. But I think on the law enforcement side of this, what they're saying is when we have other suspicions that this computer is being used for ill, for instance, like a botnet, we can't show the location of it and therefore can't get a warrant sometimes. So we need an exception to that. And I understand that side of it as well.
Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. Scary.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with this, even though I totally understand the law enforcement need for it.
Because you use VPNs on the road a lot, don't you?
Yeah, and just using a VPN shouldn't waive the right to a warrant. We need to think harder about other ways to go after people, and maybe there needs to be a few other things that you have to specify in the warrant, but you can say, well, I can't get the location because of the VPN. Maybe you get an out for that, but not throw everything out, because that could lead to abuse. Another Jay Martin submitted the Sploid article about a hydrophobic metal that causes water to bounce off of it. Researchers at the University of Rochester etched a nanostructure with femtosecond laser pulses on platinum, causing the water to bounce twice and then roll right off. Because it is etched into the material, it doesn't wear off. So it's not like chemical waterproofing, which eventually, will wear off over time. Possible applications range from de-icing airplane surfaces, making nonstick pans that'll never wear away, efficient water collection systems, because none of the water ever gets absorbed or anything.
Underwear, no?
Yeah, but where does the liquid go in that?
That's not important. It's not on your body.
I think it's kind of important.
I think we worry about that later. I
think you're gonna be worried about it pretty quickly. Yeah.
No, this is actually really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Thank you for sending that, another Jay Martin. And that is a look at the headlines. All right, so we covered pretty much most of this Microsoft announcement in the headlines. I do think that making it free is incredibly smart.
They had to, right?
Yeah, and
they couldn't charge anymore for it.
I don't understand why they said for a year. Because all that does is make people suspicious, like, oh, you're gonna cut it off or something. I think what Microsoft may mean in typical Microsoft logic is after a year we're gonna have a new version of this, because they really made a big deal about this as Windows as a service, right?
They did say that, yeah. It's more of a so I was thinking more so of the year to kind of get those Apple. I hate to use Apple, but just get those Apple-like numbers of install base that get people to get on it as quick as possible while it's free, because people like free.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that's kind of a threat in a way to for you to hurry up and upgrade.
Well, and I wonder if Windows 10 just becomes a rolling, constantly updated piece of software, and they get away from versioning. At which point, they say after a year, the upgrade path isn't as easy anymore, and so you kind of just need to reinstall. That's another possibility. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but there's another shoe to drop there. But man, holograms, like this is the thing. When they started talking about it, I'm like, oh great, here we go again. This is a Bill Gates CES keynote from 2000 all over again.
Exactly.
Showing us something that's pie in the sky that's never going to happen. This thing's getting into developers' hands at Build, apparently.
I remember Bill Gates. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh well, no, and I was just going to say, who is the author from Wired? I think it was Jesse. Jesse Hempel over at Wired got a sneak peek at this back in the fall and was blown away. And everybody who's tried it out today that's written it up has said, yeah, it actually works. That's
pretty. Now they're using. Is it the augmented reality, or is that something separate?
Yeah, that's a good point. This is augmented reality, not virtual reality. So this is more like Magic Leap is thought to be, where it's projecting things through the lens in such a way that it ends up at the back of the eye and makes it appear as if it's out there in the world.
That's what Google. I remember because when I had almost every Android phone back in the day, but they did it with the app. You would hold your phone out at like some stores and it'll show you, like, it'll overlay.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes. So so it's that kind of technology. Just it's going directly into your to your eyes with the head.
Yeah, because it's got the wraparound, and that helps it track your position, and so it can keep it moving.
Okay.
Because I remember with that app you're talking about, as you moved, sometimes that thing would move too. It wouldn't stay in one place.
Right.
Whereas these, I mean, one of the things they showed, which again we have to wait and see if this really works as advertised. But they showed a plumber on a tablet seeing the first-person view from the person trying to fix a U-joint, I think, or whatever that's called, the pipe underneath your sink. Not a U-joint, that's in your car. I stick to tech, Tom. But yeah, the pipe underneath your sink. And so on the tablet, he was just circling it like a telestrator, but in the person wearing the HoloLens saw the circle go exactly around the pipe, and she knew exactly where to start to loosen the joint.
Do you know how useful? I saw that in the video you sent me, and I was like, do you know how useful that will be? Even if it's just not plumbing, just things around the house I have no clue how to do, or on my car, and to have someone in real time, or even if it's a video that pops up and gives you those directions, and you see, okay, you turn here, whatever. I saw that and was blown away just with the pipe. That was amazing.
I don't want to overstate this because this is the kind of easy thing to hype, and then it ends up tanking. You know, it ends up when people get it in their hands and use it over time. Like it works. People are testing it out today, and it obviously works, and it's really impressive. And they're using it with NASA to virtually walk around on Mars. Possibilities are endless, right?
Right.
It might end up not to be as good in practice, like if you use it over weeks. I have a hunch though that this is fairly much what you get is what you see, and this is the kind of thing that changes the way we use computers. If all of a sudden Windows is out there in the world, granted, a lot of you are not going to want to wear wraparound sunglasses, but they're certainly less bulky than Oculus VR is right now.
Right.
They also are making it an API. So if Magic Leap wants to take advantage of this, Magic Leap might have an even lower profile thing. And eventually somebody's going to come up with something that isn't terribly bulky that you could wear more often. And then suddenly, you know, using your laptop is what old man behavior. Oh, come on, Dad. Use a visual interface.
Yeah. You know, when I see things like this, and, you know, we tend to get skeptical, and and then people in the comments where, you know, they down it because they can't see the benefit. You know, one thing I saw someone in the chat room just mention that, you know, Microsoft spends a ton of money on research on this. I mean, these guys are way smarter than us in my opinion. They kind of see the outlook of this. And if we're ever going to get to this Star Trek thing that we all want to be at, the Star Trek place, we have to allow these things to happen and not be so down on them. I'm excited. I look forward to it. You saw the Minecraft thing, right? I mean, just think about the kids who are into Minecraft who have gotten bored with it. My God, this is the next step of it. Where you sit down in your living room or your bedroom and you continue building your Minecraft.
Yeah, and it just fills up your entire room that you're in. I mean,
unbelievable.
I have to say, there's lots of ways this can go wrong. I know there's plenty of you out there who are skeptical. Plenty of you who say, "Oh, come on, Microsoft does this all the time. Don't get fooled, Merritt." But I am tantalized by the possibility that this does work this time, because it seems very possible that it could. And if it does work as advertised, if it is easy to use and it gets adoption and people develop for it and people like using it, this is going to be one of those moments like when the iPhone came out. You know, this is going to be one of those moments like when the personal computer came out, where it changes the way people use their technology.
Yeah, I mean,
has that possibility anyway.
Yeah, eventually, of course, you got these 3 or 4 big companies racing to see who could be the standard. Somebody has to be the standard at some point, so it can work across all devices. But, you know, why not Microsoft? Well, you know, they have the biggest install base.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, that's the best point yet, Lamarr. You're right. Even if Microsoft doesn't pan out, they just set the bar higher for what we expect from other things just by this demonstration.
Absolutely.
All right, our pick of the day comes from Jamie in beautiful British Columbia. It's an iOS app called Moment from Kevin Holesh. One of the biggest downsides to smartphones these days, writes Jamie, is that everyone is constantly staring at their devices and not socializing. This is especially true for families. Moment allows you to track your phone usage throughout the day invisibly in the background and lets you track other members of your family as well. You can set dedicated phones free family time, and a very loud audible alarm will go off if you go on your phone. It will also help you manage your smartphone addiction by setting daily limits for yourself and encouraging you to put your phone down once you reach your limit for the day. Good for the phone addicts out there that want to be able to have more screen-free time at home. It's a free app in the iOS App Store.
Looks cool.
If you want to. Those of you who are like, I don't need to stop using my phone, are not going to try this. I get that.
Yeah.
But maybe you're the person who's like, you know, my New Year's resolution was like not to be so absorbed in my phone. Maybe this will help you. Send your picks to feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find my picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Send me some picks, people. We'll love them. We got an email from Burhan Kadumi, who said, in reflection of the discussion yesterday about Facebook's announcement to cut down on newsfeed items that are misleading or hoaxes, he wanted to point out a YouTube video from Dustin discussing the issue of freebooting, which is essentially the idea that somebody takes your video, downloads it off YouTube, and then puts it on Facebook on their page and starts getting all the traffic credit and everything for it. Burhan says, I support the best way I can with subscribing, liking, and sharing through the proper channels with as many friends as possible. This modification to the Facebook algorithm could assist in slowing down freebooting, but I wonder how Facebook would react to that use of this system. Is freebooting a problem that you deal with, Lamarr?
You know, I haven't seen it. Maybe my videos are just crap, so no one wants to take them over there. But I do see popular videos, and you definitely see those Vine compilations, whatever, and they get onto Facebook and create traffic. But I don't see a monetization thing on Facebook yet, so I don't think it's a problem in terms of people making money off my stuff or anybody else's. It's just a matter of they're seeing our faces in a different place. And hey, I mean, if you want to take it and take me and put it somewhere else, go for it. You know, but when you're making money off of it and I'm not, you know, I think that's where the problem would be.
Yeah, the way we have set up Daily Tech News Show, it would only help us if people did that, because that means more people hear about the show and are more likely to support it, right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
that Patreon model, man. Works great.
Anthony in Edinburgh writes that on episode 2411, the question, so why is there a clickbait problem, provoked lots of great discussion. I think you didn't explicitly state what I believe is the core answer, because online, the unit of paid journalism is much smaller. Clickbait works because it tricks a reader into consuming that small unit, one page. Offline, when one unit was a purchase of a whole paper or magazine, this trick was harder to pull. Maybe Weekly World News was the best attempt. That's a good point. It's easy to click. You see a clickbait headline, you can click it. If you don't like it, close page, done. You see a clickbait headline in a magazine or a newspaper, you have to pay for that magazine or newspaper.
Yeah, I as somebody who makes video and you know, obviously, and you know, you do this daily show, you want your title to be interesting. Do you want to have Daily Tech News Show number 275? Or whatever as your title. I mean, that'll interest your most core people, but that's not getting you out there. I don't know. I just have my own opinion about the.
Well, it's that fine line of walking between search engine optimization, which honestly I feel like is like an arms race. You have to really focus on it if you want to win. Something that is actually informative that will lead someone to understand and want to consume whatever it is you're clicking, and something that is maybe not informative but is guaranteed to make you click, right? That's the 24 things you won't believe caused this man to die and live again, you know, and then you click in and it's actually not that story, right?
We call that the BuzzFeed model.
Yeah, Upworthy, BuzzFeed. I mean, they've all done it. There's some great practitioners out there. And when I was writing headlines at CNET, we would walk that line all the time. I remember I raised eyebrows at CNET in 2005, I think 2004, for writing hot Asian phones.
Oh, yeah. Because
they were like, that could be interpreted. I'm like, yes, it could be interpreted, but that's literally what it is. They're Asian phones. They're hot new phones. Like, and yet, you know, even then, people are like, you're walking a line there. And so, yeah, you've got people who go way over the line all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's no cost to it. Finally, Justin said, this is a pretty delayed response on the Google Opinion Rewards, which was the pick of the day on episode 2407. The problem I have with it is when I go to a certain store the day after, Google will ask me when the last time I went to that certain store was. For example, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and the next day Google asked me, hey, when's the last time you went to Buffalo Wild Wings? I find it pretty creepy, but that still doesn't stop me from filling out the Google Opinion Rewards. Google already knows the information anyway if your location reporting is on, but you are ignorant of it unless you use Opinion Rewards. Just a notice to those thinking about using this.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
What, Buffalo Wild Wings?
Well, no, trust me, I know that's a thing.
When's the last time? I'll let Google ask you later. Thank you, Justin. And thank you, Lamarr Wilson. Twitter.com/Lamarr Wilson. There's 2 R's in Lamarr. Go follow him now if you don't already. And go subscribe. YouTube.com/Lamarr Wilson. Again, LamarrWilson. What do you got going on over there right now?
Oh, man, we got some great videos coming up. Today, I'm unboxing a cool geek box from a company called Loot Crate.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, it's one of those mystery boxes. You never know what's going to be in there. So, yeah, I'm focusing on unboxings, advice videos, on all kind of topics, and just having fun doing it. I think that's where I tend to be unique with it. I just try to have fun and be myself, not try to take myself too seriously or the technology too seriously.
You're a likable guy. You don't need to put on airs. Just be yourself. It's great.
Oh, stop it. I'll send you that PayPal later. Thank you.
Thank you to our patrons, 4,787 and rising. Thank goodness. Trying to get us to the next milestone level. It's a ways off, but we're making progress toward it so that we can actually make Scott Johnson and Veronica Belmont be regular contributors. And that gets us closer to the video goal where we actually have an official video version of the show. So go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support to find out the ways to support the show, or just go to patreon.com/acedetect and support the show.
If you get 1 million a month, I will consider being a regular person. But only that, because I take a big cut.
I figure that's what we have to hit, right?
Yeah,
Lamarr Wilson.
Exactly, and I want that to play every 10 seconds throughout the show.
Okay, well, if that's we can start right now. I mean, don't forget you can. Oh wait, I have to go to the other soundboard now. Don't forget you can have a voice of what stories we cover at our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. You can email us feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. Give us a call, leave us a voicemail 512-59-DAILY, 512-593-2459, and listen to the show live at mobile.alphageekradio.com. Our website is dailytechnewsshow.com, and we'll be back tomorrow with Shannon Morse from Tech Thing. Talk to you then.
This podcast is part of the Frog Pants Studios Network. For more information about this and other shows, visit frogpants.com. Audio program so good, it's like you're there.
Woohoo! Oh, I'll play that.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I accidentally stopped recording before, so I'm going to have to put those in manually anyway. But
Right.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, that was great. Whose hands did we just see there? Oh, that scared the heck out of me. I was like, okay. Like, whoa.
I had the monitor down so I could see the laptop thing down so I could see the big monitor for the show.
I was like, Tom, you have lovely hands.
Lovely hands.
I'm a hand model.
I figured as much. Yeah, you have okay, I'll stop that joke. It would have been bad. It would have been bad. Let me stop.
Family show.
Not that kind of bad, by the way. It was just
Sometimes bad is bad.
yeah.
If Huey Lewis has taught me anything,
It's hip to be bad.
it's hip to be bad.
Dude, you handled all. I mean, considering how much Microsoft stuff is, I love your conciseness. I'm being just dead serious. You were able to really get through it and cover everything in that time, because you could have spent 2 hours just talking about it. I mean,
well, thank you. That was not. It was a hard morning. They just kept throwing things. I'm like, really? More? But I was glad they ended on the hologram because I was excited about that. I was like, that looks amazing.
Yeah. This is just off the record, of course, even though everybody's listening.
Just between you and me and Jenny.
Yeah, between you and I, Tom. What do you feel about? Because they obviously are not part of CES anymore, and they waited until that was over. What do you feel about that? Just big companies just doing their own thing. Are we going back to that now, or?
Yeah, I feel like that's sort of people. I think Apple really finally blazed that trail enough that people are like, yeah, that's. Yeah,
they left their own conference.
That's what we need to do. Yeah.
I don't know. It's unfortunate because CES is just. I mean, I didn't go, but it was just like, eh.
Yeah,
and it didn't seem interesting. Like this integrated there I don't know. It seemed like it would have benefited the show, but maybe Microsoft doesn't want to benefit that show.
As the person who slogged through all the halls, I would just say that this would have just been one other. I mean, that's the thing. It would have been just one other announcement at CES. It might have been the biggest announcement at CES, but like, it would have been one giant, like you go to the giant Sony, Samsung, these huge semi-small universes within one giant conference hall, and you're like, this was great, climb on to the next thing. And I don't think these big companies really want, that are not core consumer, put it on the TV stand and turn it on type products, want to get lost in that crowd. It would have been nice for us all to put on the fun hologram sunglasses and play with it, and you probably will get to next year, but in a basic news cycle thing, I think the holograms deserve their own 24-hour cycle, at least until Joe Biden does something on the road. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it just deserves.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Good answer. You win.
But I miss it. I certainly do miss not being able to experience all those toys.
Yeah, there's some stuff I like separate. Nintendo does their Direct. I definitely like those to be kind of their own thing, because they're regular updates. But this was huge. This was just a lot of.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to. Tom, do you think I should? I'm tempted tonight to sit down and try to watch this. Is it even worth it?
I would wait for like The Verge or somebody to do the here's everything you need to see cut down version.
Okay.
Because there's some good stuff. The hologram stuff is totally worth watching. I would watch that entire demonstration.
Okay.
And
I saw the
probably
video.
most of the Xbox demo.
I want to see that.
If you're into Windows 10, there's some good stuff that Joe Belfiore did, although not everything is going to interest you. And there's a lot of talk in that early part.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to see the Xbox thing. That's kind of my area. So.
Yeah, I would watch it. He had some gameplay. There's a sizzle reel in there, of all the games that are coming and everything, which is always fun to watch.
Awesome. So, what scandalous title are we gonna?
I want to go with "You Had Me at Hollow." Like you had me at hello.
Oh, that's amazing. Like I paused because I didn't think of that myself. That was wow.
I was surprised you didn't think about it.
Normally am really good at stuff like that.
What other ones are there? I'm almost to that point.
Did you come up with that, or was that?
No, that was Beatmaster. Microsoft puts a holodeck on your face. DTNS, Daily Tech Microsoft Show, for sure today.
Hey, Microsoft rarely gets their chance, so let them have a day.
Yeah.
No, this is fine.
How about Microsoft, you had me at hollow?
I got a podcast broadcasting behind me, so I'll be quiet, but...
We can hear her.
That's what I figured. I'm going to mute.
So I'll talk quiet.
So is that another show going on?
No, that's her office mate.
Oh, okay. I still need to go visit you over there.
Please do.
Yeah, I do. I just need to randomly just pop up. I'm just behind you on the show, and then you turn your camera on. I'm there.
And
that would literally make my day. I mean, that would make my day.
So Jenny's just there, and then suddenly you pop up, and
Lamarr Wilson.
Play that.
Exactly. At the same time I pop up. So
that almost threw me off because
I'll have a ambulance on standby for you. Because that would scare me.
So far, I've already had Patrick Beja here in the office.
Yeah,
the day that he came to town.
Yeah.
So now I have a bigger desk, and I will soon have a bigger shot once I get my new webcam.
What webcam are you trying to get?
It's in the mail. It's the one Tom recommends. The Logitech C920, right?
I wish you would have told me because I have an extra one just sitting here.
Oh, but Lamarr.
I do.
You always have extra equipment.
It's somewhere in that closet.
How's that possible?
You've been so generous already that I can't continue to take all of your Lamarr things. Give it to another budding podcaster.
Well, see, I'm not a hoarder. Yeah. I'm not a hoarder, so it's just like I like to get rid of stuff. Yeah, because I got the C930E, which is not optimized for the Mac, but it officially works with the Mac, whereas the 920 didn't officially work with it. So there was a couple of glitches with it. But I gotta find it. It's a great camera. All the Logitech stuff kills, man. Those cameras are amazing.
They kill.
They kill people.
Murderers.
Yeah, I
Lamar's like my podcasting godfather.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Oh,
He's like,
stop.
have this. Have
Someday,
this.
I will need a favor from you.
That is not a good. That is not a good. I can't think of the word, but
Stick to tech, Tom.
Yeah, stick to tech. I've tried to do Godfather voice, and it's god awful. No pun intended on that, of course, but.
You come to me on the day of your daughter's wedding.
You ask for a heil, I give you a heil.
Someday I'll want a favor from you.
You know, the crazy part is I don't even remember if I ever watched the whole series. I don't remember one scene except those little bits that people always say. I just maybe just got blanked out.
Really?
Maybe I got kidnapped or something. I don't know what happened.
You got abducted while you were watching The Godfather?
That possibly happened because I don't remember.
By the mob?
I did live in Chicago.
See? Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, all of us from Illinois are part of the mob.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering one day if I'm ever going to sit down and... Is it a trilogy?
It's really just two. I mean, there is a third.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every couple of years, people try to defend the third movie, and it doesn't work. Time has come.
Yeah, I mean, Godfather 3 is not the worst movie ever made.
Is it all the same cast?
Some.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
Obviously, the people who get gunned down in earlier movies don't really show up as often.
Oh, they don't? That's too bad.
Not as often. I actually, you know what? I don't remember much about Godfather 3 because I've seen 1 and 2 multiple times, but I only saw 3 the once.
Wow.
What is your opinion on that, Jenny? I mean,
so I it is not memorable to me. Yeah. It exists. It happened, but I can like in my head go to any moment in one of the first 2 Godfather movies and just be like, yep, I can quote that. Yep, I remember that. Oh my God, you remember that? Can't do that with Godfather 3. Mm-hmm. It exists. I understand how it advanced the plot. Yeah. If it got Sofia Coppola into directing, then yay.
Like we got lost in translation, thankfully, because
great. Yeah. But it didn't move me, and if it's ever on TV, which oddly enough it isn't on TV a lot. I don't feel compelled to watch it like I do with Godfather 2. Like Godfather 2 is on, forget it. It's the rest of the day. Like it's done. It's like that in broadcast news. You're just like, oh, I gotta watch this now. No, I don't feel that way about Godfather 3.
They're comparing it to Indiana Jones 4, some of whom deny that Indiana Jones 4 exists.
I am a denier.
And then BioCow likes it. It's like, I liked it. Am I the only one? Yes, BioCow, I'm afraid you are.
Which, I'm trying to find this on Google. I'm having a hard time. Which, that was the third one. The Back to the Future, because I love Back to the Future series, but the one where they're in their Western time, that's my least favorite.
Yeah.
And is that the third one? I thought
that was the second one. Is that the third one?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
I'm getting them confused now.
Third.
That's the
second
third?
one is
okay.
Multiple timelines. Remember the blackboard scene branching off?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Right.
The year
that's where they go to
out
Vegas and Biff is in the tub.
Yeah. That one was enjoyable. I just don't. Maybe I don't like westerns. Period. But I didn't really care for that one as much. But I bought the whole trilogy on iTunes. Had a sale during the holiday. For like, I don't know, it's $20 for like all 3. Yeah. So it was a good deal. Yeah.
$20. Shoot.
Yeah, I think it was like that.
Paid $20 to see it in the theater cheaper. If it came out today.
It was 15 or 20. It was like really cheap.
Yeah, that's super cheap.
Because I never buy movies, and I say, okay, I'll buy this set.
It's funny how we were talking the other day about how we balked about paying for a movie, like buying a movie online for $13.99. Where we would easily go to a theater, the 2 of us, and watch a movie and pay $28. Wow. And we don't even get to keep that movie.
Right. Cool. I was like, well, she'd be quiet. No, I didn't say that. I was thinking it.
Quiet down over there.
Yeah, stop doing work.
What do you think this is, an office? Oh.
That should be better, right? Because
Yeah, no, it is. It is
apparently
now.
the Heil was in a different USB slot, and it just didn't take. Like, it didn't show up there. So I had moved it to the other one, and it showed up.
Wow, the Heil really takes away the background noise.
Yeah, it really
Right?
does.
You have now seen the power of the Heil.
I mean, I used it, but like I didn't have background noise. I couldn't compare it. But my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hey, thanks, Suncast. Thank you. I can't hear myself, so I would never know. So yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't notice until you plugged it in. Now it seems obvious. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sound even more beautiful than you are.
Oh. I like having Lamarr on. Can we have Lamarr on more often?
Hey, you all had your chance. You blew the contract.
I know.
No. There was no contract.
We didn't have $1 million, Tom.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot.
Or you just give me like lifetime Domino's pizza and I'm good.
Oh, we could talk.
Yeah, that's doable.
I brought that up because yesterday, first time since I lived in LA, I had this unbelievable, and I think a commercial did it. I had an unbelievable craving for Domino's. So
Really?
I went, yeah. So I went to one and I got the little thin crust, 3 topping thing. It was unbelievably good. Like I knew Domino's used to be crap, but my God, their new stuff is amazing. It was an amazing pizza.
We had Pizza Hut growing up, and we did not have Domino's. So I never ate it until I was like, even out of college, because in college we ate all these local chains like Grog's and Garcia's Pizza in a Pan and stuff.
Right, yeah.
So it wasn't until I was much older that I even ever tried a Domino's, and I was not impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really.
I haven't eaten in a long time, though.
Yeah, well, for me, the thin crust is the best. Like it's almost like on a cracker, and
Yeah, I do like cracker crust pizza.
Yeah.
I grew up eating Ray's famous pizza.
New York.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Ray's. It's weird. Every time I go to New York, 2 places I stop. Well, first I go to Katz Deli. I stop there immediately after I get off the flight because I love Katz so much. And then, like when I'm in the Manhattan area, it's always Ray's. And you know, you see all the other ones, and people are like, oh, let's stop here. I'm like, nope. And I have a specific Ray's I go to. I don't know.
Well, the original Ray's.
Original.
Yeah. Well, there aren't there like 20 original Ray's. But it's so good. There's
an original Ray's of the original Ray's. Actually, the truth is, the most pizza I ate growing up was at Pino's La Forchetta on 7th Avenue in Park Slope, Brooklyn. That is the pizza.
Oh, Brooklyn. Ooh.
But in terms of like when I was in New York on the weekends, I would eat Ray's.
Yeah. I was reading the chat here. It's like I really need to. We may need to do a Domino's unboxing. Where I try because hey, people love those kind of videos, and I'm just reading out people's like, wow, it really is good. Maybe I'll try it. I think it was Big Jim saying it. Yeah.
Domino's unboxing. I love that idea.
Oh yeah.
I did have the brief unboxing thought when I was unboxing my beautiful new Samsung monitor that I was like, I should be unboxing videoing this, and then I was like, you know what? It's not a brand new item. It's a sale item. It's okay.
You know the thing is, like, because I used to hate unboxing videos, and I still do. But I hate the overproduced. Let's take 20 minutes to take something out of a box because of the plastic. Like I can't stand those kind of videos. Mm-hmm. But we like looking at other people take stuff out the box. I mean, it's a real phenomenon. Like it doesn't matter what it is. If you got a good personality, people just like seeing your experience and doing it. I'm just finding it out from the audience, so that's why I'm doing more of them.
Well, your unboxing and subsequent stabbing of the Alexa was one of my favorite videos.
Okay.
And I kept trying to be disturbed about the fact that you really wanted to stab your Alexa, but I got the feeling behind the visual.
Oh yeah, it was very all of that was like not planned at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't plan that. I didn't know what to expect.
I have the knife next to me.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect when I plugged this thing in. And I'm hesitant whether that's going to be my favorites video at the end of the month because it's still sitting there on the counter. It's plugged in, but the only thing I ask it for is a daily recap of the news, and it reads the NPR lady. It just downloads that and reads to whatever the lady. And it's great. Like I get the tech news.
Great. Now we're out of a job.
Exactly. Yes, NPR lady is taking over your job.
Well, I just got mine this week, and I immediately started using it for the shopping list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I hate having to pull out the phone and be like, oh, okay, launch the Buy Me a Pie app. Now type in the thing instead of just being like, hey, I don't want to say it because she's got good hearing. Add cookie dough to the shopping list.
Yeah.
I think that for the amount that Matt and I wander around the house and go, I wonder what happened to, or I wonder how you, and like don't want, like look at my hands. There are things on my hands because my wrists hurt so much, and like that's partially from constantly grabbing that phone. And if there's a large cylindrical item sitting there somewhere in our very small house that we could just ask it that simple question, that's kind of great because like your neck goes down and you're. And
I also like like play jazz, and then it just starts playing some hot, awesome jazz music.
Yeah, I found a like I don't listen to radio, and I haven't listened to radio in years, like actual local radio stations. And I found one in the middle of the night. I knew something. I heard helicopters. I knew something was happening, and so it was some AM station. That's LA. That's 24/7 news. It's like some kind of CBS news.
Oh, okay.
And it was great. I think it was 1370 or something like that, or 1410. But it was great. It popped it up because it uses TuneIn as a service. I never heard of TuneIn.
You can listen to Daily Tech News Show on it through TuneIn.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I sat there for an hour just listening to news, and it's like, man, this brings me back to when I was younger. Listening to the radio. I never listened to it. It was a new experience.
All right. Well, I've been out of the post for a while. I don't even know how long.
I'm just running my mouth. I'm sorry.
No, this is too much fun. I hate to bring it to a close, but I've been building the shopping list in Alexa, and so now I have to go buy groceries.
Oh, well, you go do that. Are you going to take your Alexa with you and plug it up? No, I'm just...
No, I've got the app, right?
Yeah.
So I can...
That would be hilarious if you did that.
That would be awesome if I just like put it up, plugged it into a battery.
Exactly.
And just carry it with me in the grocery store.
No, that is an awesome idea. I need to do that for groceries because you look at it. Yeah, mine is by my kitchen too. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you can't read it though.
It
just looks like a white square.
Cool. Well, go do that. And thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Lamarr.
Really
that was awesome.
It.
Fantastic.
Anytime you all need me, just hit me up. I'm here.
All right. Talk to you later, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, chat room.